Good evening, everybody, and welcome here to race number 11 of the second season of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, powered by the WRA. If you notice, the grid looks a little bit different than it was last night, we'll explain in momentarily, but the only thing that didn't change was the top 12 in our starting lineup. Futaba Sakura gave Jacob Foster, who we will discuss about him in just a second, starts on the pole position. Futaba making her third start of her Truck Series career. She is alongside of Anna Steiner. Now, this is a really key factor I need to mention about Anna Steiner because, and I'll get ready to talk about this in just a second, this is going to have a major implications on drivers that are above or below the 30th in the standings cut line, as far as that is concerned. But Steiner, 19th in the points, not a good race 2 weeks ago at Darlington. She'll look to redeem herself. Dylan Ebrahimian rode 2. Dylan comes into this race 14th in the points, 1 top 5, 2 top 10s, still looking for his first win of his career. And A Pollard in the 99 dropped 3 spots down to 7th in the standings. Now, let's explain about why the grid from 13th on down got jumbled up as you look at the rest of the starting lineup. You notice Jacob Foster, Sylvia Cunningham. They originally failed to qualify. But after last night's qualifying session, and we'll discuss more on this on tomorrow night's Winston Cup Series qualifying at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Nathan Orman, along with Michael Brown and Carlos Rodriguez, all three were ejected for actions detrimental to the World Racing Association. If you want to find out what the rule book for that is, you can join the Discord. The link is down in the description below. You can go away, Windows, for popping up. The start button popped up on my screen. So, Jacob Foster is going to be in the 33 just for this race. He'll be back in the 28 ride in our next race in 2 weeks at Kentucky, and Sylvia Cunningham is driving Michael Brown's ride. Now, the 33 originally qualified in 28th. The 46 qualified in 13th. Because that was a driver change after qualifying, Jacob Foster and Sylvia Cunningham both will have to start at the rear of the field due to the driver change. Which also means, by the way, as the trucks are rolling off the grid, not only gives us a grid mix, but this is also going to have major implications for drivers that are outside the top 30 in points. Carlos was 29th in points. He's going to fall out of the top 30. That's not going to be an issue. Michael Brown, on the other hand, is inside the top 30 in the points. 11th to be exact. 2-time winner this season. That's a crappy way for him to go out. But as I said in the Discord, World Racing Association does not put up with drivers, put up with somebody, saying, this series was our word. It's for fun. And I'll get to the points in just a minute before anybody gets carried away. And I'm waiting until we're going to wait till we get to the green, and I'll continue when I'm going to finish my point. Is getting set for 100 laps in the North Carolina Educational Lottery 200. And green flags out. We're underway here at Charlotte. But now to go back to my point, as Dylan Ebrahimian's going for the race lead. 3 wide to start off this race. That was ambitious by Ebrahimian. But to go back to my point, World Racing Association creates a safe environment for people to not just enjoy the content on this channel, but to also eliminate negative influencers that could cause a distraction, such as Ebrahimian leads the first lap, such as, saying that, I don't want someone, and what happened was, it happened in a group chat that I'm in with Cody Smart, Sean Art, which, by the way, you'll see those two drivers tomorrow night in Winston Cup qualifying. But for somebody, and it was over a sports deal, is what happened. You know, I mean, I've been a little too lenient and letting it go, as Quincy Jones will now take the race lead. Good run for the South African if he can hold off Chikura Takashi. I was a little too lenient, but when I realized, that went too far, I was like, you know what? I'm going to have to take action right now. So I did, like, the last couple of weeks in doing the investigating. I deliberate with the World Racing Association officials. We deliberated. We came to a decision, and the decision is final with no appeal being made. And I'm really sorry to Michael Brown, Carlos Rodriguez, for having not a good team owner, and it's not the first time I've had to take action on him. But at some point, it was bound to happen. So I've already explained it, to Danny Johnson, and well, I've only explained it to Danny Johnson, but for some of y'all that don't know, I've now explained it to you all. So I'm really sorry I had to do that, but I was left with no choice. So hope everybody respects the decision. Not only is this going to have an effect, not only it's going to have an effect on the truck series, it's also going to affect, because I didn't bring that up in Busch qualifying earlier tonight. And don't worry, we'll get to the points. I didn't forget, because we have a long race. And we'll also look up our former winners. But as Mark Simpson looks underneath Quincy Jones for the race lead, it's not only going to affect these three series, it also is going to affect the Red Bull GT series. Here's the good news to that. The season hasn't even started in Red Bull. So, and as I explained to Cody and Sean, we've had it happen in the middle of the season. We've never had it happen before the season. So that is the answer as far as that's concerned. An announcement on the drivers for the vacant rides in the Red Bull GT series, that will be announced at a later date. So there you go. So I appreciate everybody letting me take the first almost 10 laps of this race to explain that, as Futaba is back up to second. While Mark Simpson's leading, let's go ahead and get to the points table coming into this race. I appreciate you guys being patient with me. Gretchen Muller, the points leader, by 40 points over Dylan Cunningham. 41 over Bora Park. Mark Simpson, who's leading the race, he's fourth in the standings, 63 points back. 67 back is Abigail Furling, as Futaba is about to retake the lead from the 08. Abigail is fifth. Then it's Addison Peterson, Ingrid Pollard, Shyla Askraov, Ashton Ingersoll, Maisie Creighton. That is your top 10. Eric Stanbury, who raced his way into this race here tonight via the Go or Go Home session, didn't qualify for the Busch race. I wouldn't be surprised. And Jacob, if you're watching this race, Jacob Foster, that is the team owner to this driver. I would not be surprised, and I think you would agree with me. I would not be surprised if one of the replacement drivers for the Winston Cup Series would be this gal right here, Futaba Sakura. I would not be surprised if it's her. Don't think she ever. I'll have to go back through the Black Mesa Truck Series, see if she won a pole. As Anna Steiner is the leader. And we'll also explain what's going to happen to a. We'll discuss about Luna Farmer, what's going to happen on the Cup side. We'll talk about her tomorrow night, along with the other 41 drivers on the Busch side. And a Steiner already led a lap. Let's check the drivers at the back of the field here. Or park back here at the rear of the field. Race is still early. There's Sylvia Cunningham. I bet Sylvia's already had a wild number of events that happen. Didn't get to qualify for this race, but was called by the 4016 to come to the track today, which the officials approved Sylvia to let her run this truck. She normally would drive the number 50. I don't know who will be in this truck for the remainder of the season. As far as that's concerned, Trendy Lee back here with the points leader and rookie points leader Gretchen Mueller. There's Amanda Scoutmaster. First race since Phoenix in the Monster Energy Series back in 2016. I haven't seen her until tonight, believe it or not. She's been busy doing filmmaking is what she's been doing in her off time. Jayla Durazin made the show this week. Jayla replaced Donovan Carter, who was ejected before this week because Jayla has qualified into her first race of her career. She will be in this truck for the rest of the season. And Jayla managed to get herself into the race. Jayla Durazin, by the way, is a former Diva Busch Series driver. Drove the ride that Kyle Langland drives on the Busch side, the 26 Dr. Pepper Dodge in the Diva Busch Series. Had a quiet season over there. Glad to see her back on this channel. As Maisie Creighton underneath Luis Hernandez. Zach Foster, Victoria Hughes. Hello, Paystruck. Quincy Jones. There's Jacob Foster. Remember, Foster had to start, Jacob that is, had to start at the rear of the field because of the driver change. Replacing Carlos Rodriguez for this race only. TBD on who will be the driver in this ride for the rest of the season. So Jacob's only going to be penciled in for this race. He'll be back in his usual number 28. This is only a one-off. Same with Sylvia Cunningham. That will be only a one-off. There's Ashlyn Wright. Furtaba's dropped back. Who, by the way, is leading while we've been discussing? It's been Mark Simpson. Mark Simpson, one of Danny Johnson's drivers. Of course, Danny Johnson did not qualify. Just got a ping. Oh, got a ping from the D1 commissioner. Actually, I need to ask him a question. I actually do need to ask him a question. Past the 1/4 mark. All right, that was a question I need to ask him. We'll see what he. Oh, I know. I know what I need to do. Former winner. That was what I was going to discuss. I had to ask the D1 commissioner a question, so if he's okay with that, then I don't think that's going to be an issue as far as that's concerned. So, all right. If you're wondering what I'm watching, it's Emerald Live on my PS5. As my thing wants to be stupid. We ran this race last season. This was always the first race out of the All-Star break. And I'll also look up to see if I'll look and I'll also look up the stats on the because I hit the wrong button. I need to do this so that way you don't have to hear my voice in the background. We ran here in season 1 for the Craftsman Truck Series. The defending winner of this race is not in this field. The truck is the 9 truck. Shakira Takashi is the one who's driving the 9 truck. That winner, Aaron Hornish. Got that win here at the Coke 600 last season. Unfortunately, wasn't high enough in points to have his win count for a spot into the playoffs. Of course, we're not doing the playoffs this season. Okay, looks like my 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 request is approved. That's cool. Uh-oh, 114. No, 114's got a problem. That's Hannah Smith, tire problem. We're being told a tire's going down on the 114. She's running in third. And we're right around that window for drivers to come in the pits and make a pit stop. It doesn't look like the tire's going down, but Hannah Smith's reporting she might have a tire going down. And she's up here with Simpson and Sakura. So we'll keep an eye on the 114, see what's going on, but there apparently looks like it's not rubbing the fender. Unless she's coming to pit road. She's not. There's Abigail Furling running in the fourth position. Abigail top 10 of the points coming into this race. And there's Ashton Ingersoll running in fifth. All right. I'm going to scoot something up forward. Oh, I got nothing. Right now we are 40 laps in, getting closer to the midway point. A lot of these drivers really have fallen off the face of the earth. All right. Let's see. Addie not having a good run. All right, so these drivers are now all in their window. of trying to make it the rest of the way on just one stop. Of course, they can only go 67 laps on a tank of fuel. And of course, it's nighttime. The track has a lot more grip. Remember, we had qualifying earlier tonight. As Mark Simpson still leads the race. Futaba's second, having a quiet run. Lucci and Bianchi. There's Anthony Ricci, Hannah Smith. Kind of surprised she hasn't come to pit road, to be quite honest with you, especially when she's reported to have a flat tire. Must have ran over some debris or something like that. Because remember, we just had Busch qualifying 2 hours ago. That was the only on track activity we've had tonight. Approaching the midway point of this race. So have all 42 of our drivers all on the lead lap. No cautions so far in this race. So these drivers just trying to be courteous to each other. Don't know if they took that off week to be a little courteous to each other. And I bet the officials are wondering, does the drivers know something we don't know? I mean, other than the drivers' meeting. As Futaba Sakura looking for the race lead, but decided to back off of it. So Tama's looking the inside. As of this recording, I'm about to go fix me some toast. But I want to just keep an eye on this battle here because Futaba and Mark Simpson have had a good battle. Yes, I know my stomach's growling. I've been up since like 5 in the morning. So I've been up very early. So since my job didn't schedule me because I had this damn injury I've talked about this weekend. So I had to go ahead and start recording these Charlotte races, get them out. Of course, our next race, as I said, for the Truck Series drivers will be in 2 weeks' time at the Bluegrass State of Kentucky. I believe I'm using like a 2005 ish Kentucky. I think you've seen it when you've seen the Red Bull GT series. You know, looks like Futaba wasn't good on the short run, but her long run pace has been really good. Dude. Bianchi up here. Mark Simpson just went by Sakura. Have we already begun pit stops? Looks like the answer is no. Sylvia Cunningham and Luis Hernandez. Luis has really dropped off the pace. Up, here we go. 61 laps. They went far on tires. It's now Bianchi the leader as we have begun green flag pit stops to start off tonight's race. I'm not going to worry about the chat deal until after pit stops are done. There's a lot of drivers that really need to make some adjustments because their trucks were going the wrong way. Some of them wanted to do the undercut. Of course, if you pit early for tires, your tires will be up to temperature faster than drivers that are pitting later, where their tires are going to take them a while to get up to temperature and have more grip. I think the one thing we don't want to see is a yellow. Now let's see where Mark Simpson is going to be in relation to all these drivers. Shyla is now the race leader. We mentioned pole day qualifying on Talladega. We're going to have a interesting format to not be confused as Shyla's has come in to make her pit stop. She went farther than everybody else. So as I was saying, pole day qualifying next Friday at 2, at 4. That will be for the Busch drivers because they're going to have since there's more than 2 groups, they're going to end up having 2, the go home qualifying races will be at 2. At 4, they'll have pole day qualifying with the 42 drivers. At 2 Eastern next Saturday will be Winston Cup qualifying from Dega. Busch race at 4. And then Sunday at 2. Next Sunday at 2, Talladega. As the Cup drivers get ready for another Super Speedway fun before the trucks join up with the Busch and the Cup drivers at Kentucky. Hope you will join us for what will be a fun weekend of racing. I think everybody's made a pit stop. Looks like the 33, Jacob Foster's out of the race with a header issue. So we had our first engine failure. So Jacob's night is unfortunately going to come to a disappointing end. The good news for Jake, he made the Busch race, and he also made the Cup race. He made the Busch race. He'll try to make the Cup race, is what I meant to say. As Abigail Furling. Sorry, I almost spoiled that for y'all. He will try to make the Cup races, is to be more specific. Anyway, Abigail Furling, after the cycle of pit stops, leads. Mark Simpson second, Bianchi is third. Kyle Sutton up to fourth. Fifth is Ashton Ingersoll. Sixth will be Anna Steiner. Anna Berger will now be in seventh, with Ingrid Pollard in eighth. Hannah Smith will drop to ninth. Eric Stanbury will complete the top 10. I want to remind everybody this copyrighted broadcast is presented by the authority of the World Racing Association for the private use of our audience. Any reproduction or rebroadcast or retransmit or any other disseminations excuse me, or the use of this broadcast without the express written consent of the World Racing Association is prohibited. I just took a drink of water. Blue Hedgehog TV and the World Racing Association want to thank you fans for your support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast. Apologies for that cough. So Abigail Furling, one of our former winners from last season, got a win. Wasn't high enough in points to have her win count for a spot in the playoffs. Missed the playoffs. Having a much better season. Had to attempt to qualify the first 4 races to get herself locked in the top 30. She's done a good job ever since being locked in the show. And the reason I bring her name up is that she comes in this race, as I said, 5th in points. As that was not the video I was looking for, you derping phone. And why do I bring her name up as why she's 5th in points? Because the top 5 in the truck series at the end of this season, they're moving up to the Busch series. And right now, those 5 drivers, including Furling, the guy that's right behind her, that would be Mark Simpson. Bora Park already has a Busch ride. There's been rumors she may be going Winston Cup racing next season. We'll have to see. Right now, that transfer would go to Addison Peterson. I get the 2 A's mixed up is what happens. As Mark Simpson leads the race. I see second in points popped up on the standings. That's D Cunningham. But where is the gal that he's trying to run down for the rookie and overall points lead? 35th for Gretchen Muller. And they were separated by 40 points. That's going to be a big chunk of points that Dylan Cunningham is about to eat into Gretchen Muller in terms of the points lead. As Abigail Furling is also going to be another driver who's also going to... The thing is, Cunningham has not led a lap tonight. Mm-hmm. And neither has Mueller. Abigail Furling's led some laps. Bora Park, we haven't seen her. Where's the 13? 26. Ugh. 3rd in points. And remember, Bora is another one of those drivers trying to do the triple this weekend. Of course, she will qualify. She'll try to attempt to qualify to get into the Cup race tomorrow night at 5 Eastern. But I can tell you this. This is really going to shake up the points. Got something going on in the chat. Luis Hernandez has got a tire issue. His night just went from bad to worse. Right front tire went down on his truck. Ashton Ingersoll, two-time winner last season. His wins came after the playoffs last season. Addison Peterson, I see her in the top 10. Other top 10 in the points. A Pollard, 5th in the points, top 10, running well. Shyla Askraov, 39th, 8th in points. That's going to kill her. Maisie Creighton, 10th in points, going to kill her. G Muller is only 28th. Remember, she's the points leader coming in this race. Cunningham running in 11th right now. Or now 12th. Came in this race second in the points. Erica Douglas just popped into the top 10. Dropped 4 spots down to 23rd in points, excuse me. Now, where is Zach Foster? He's running 15th. That's good for Zach. Why do I bring his name up? Came in this race at critical 30th in the points. And with Carlos Rodriguez out of the series and a number of drivers ahead of him in the points, some of them are having some good results, some of them having a nightmare race. Daniel Gitteroth, 24th in the points, but remember, 2 drivers are out of the series. I don't know where this is going to situate him as far as I'm concerned, as they're about to catch Luis Hernandez and lap him for a second time. We haven't had a yellow yet in this race. Luis Hernandez, the only driver a lap down, and the only driver out of the race is Jacob Foster. Which, if you just joined us late, Jacob Foster had to start the rear due to a driver change. Carlos Rodriguez, normally the driver in that 33, he and Michael Brown, along with team owner Nathan Orman, were ejected for actions detrimental to the World Racing Association. Which will explain more on who will be the new driver of the 5 car in tomorrow night's qualifying session for the Winston Cup Series. As Abigail Furling going to take the race lead. And speaking of Abigail Furling, she might be one of the drivers that would be replacing Michael Brown over at Joe Gibbs Racing in the Busch Series for next week at Talladega, which we will wait for JGR to confirm that with us as Ashton Ingersoll goes back by Abigail Furling. Mark Simpson. How about a good run for Kyle Sutton? Kyle Sutton, who's been struggling trying to make races in that 38 machine, he's done a good job making the show here this week. Good run for Dylan Ebrahimian on a weekend that both Oskin and Mohammed Zain failed to qualify for this race. Coming to 8 to go in this race. I'll get some food after the just in front of these two are Tatiana Gorin and Shyla Askarov. Askarov will see her tomorrow night trying to qualify into the Cup race. So we're down to 5 laps of racing to go here at Charlotte. And these two ladies are going to play a factor. Same with Luis Hernandez. And look who's up there in second. Jayla DeRazin. Where did she come from? From Bosnia. As Hernandez also gains a spot. Remember, Hernandez pitted for a tire problem. And now Luis is going to play interference and possibly cost Abigail Furling a chance to win this race. That's going to allow these drivers, Douglas and DeRazin, to catch up. This is a problem I hate. I mean, for Luis Hernandez, you're 2 bloody laps down. Why are you racing the leader this hard? And you're going to end up allowing Jayla DeRazin the lead. And I knew these lap cars were going to cause a problem. Because now that's about to just cost Abigail Furling the race win, and Erica Douglas is going to take advantage. Remember, Askarov is teammates with Erica Douglas at DVR as the white flag's out, sponsored by Credit One Bank. Erica Douglas cannot believe this. And coming through 3 and 4, Abigail Furling is going to be steaming mad, and Erica Douglas will win the North Carolina Educational Lottery 200. Oh, the officials are not going to be happy about this. And they've asked to see those 3 drivers that just costed Abigail Furling this race win to the big red truck after the conclusion of this event. Oh, the officials are fuming. I don't think Abigail's going to be happy about this at all. But one driver who will be happy about this is Erica Douglas. I don't think she minds. And that's going to be an interesting meeting at the DVR camp tonight, as far as I'm concerned. But Erica Douglas, who only had 1 D&Q, came in this race 23rd in the points. Boy, if you want to come out of the off break with a win, that's perfectly timed. That's how you do it, if you ask me by default. Mark Simpson will get second. He was 4th in the points, so he's going to gain some points. Abigail Furling will have to sell for 3rd. She's going to be very upset about this. I bet you she's probably fuming angry. And I probably want to think Abigail Furling is going to probably tell the press, I need some time to cool away. Otherwise, you're about to get her in a, I'm going to do something very illegal, in the words of Madia brother, but nevertheless. Ashton Ingersoll will get 4th. He'll stay in the top 10. The points was 9th in the standings. Quincy Jones will get 5th. Good run for Quincy. How about Jayla Durazin? Raced her way into this event via the Gorgom session. Had a quiet day for the Bosnian driver. Well done to her. Round of applause, Jayla Durazin. First top 10 of her career. She did something that Donovan Carter didn't do in that ride. Just saying, but fair play to the DVR driver, and I bet you she will be absolutely delighted. Dylan Cunningham 2nd in the points. That's critical for him, and he's going to cut into Gretchen Muller's point gap, pending where the 52 finished in this race, as he came home in 7th. Addison Peterson will stay in the top 10 of the points and will finish in 8th. Now, Addie came into this race 6th in points. Yeah, she'll stay in the top 10. Eric Stanbury gets a 9th. Good run for him. And good run for Dylan Ebrahimian. This will get him possibly in the top 10 of the points with a 10th place result. Kyle Sutton, Lucian Bianchi, Ingrid Pollard, Lucian Bianchi. Anna Berger, a well-needed run from her. And she came in this race 12th in points. I'll have to see where this is going to situate her in the standings. Anna Berger, good run. So good run for her. Futaba Sakura will not go 2 for 2 or 3 for 3 in finishing in 27th. That was her average finish in the first 2 races. So that average finish number is going to start going down for her. But one of her better results of the season, as far as that's concerned, as she comes home in the 15th position. So good run for our pole sitter here tonight. These drivers are going to be not happy about this result because those cycle of pit stops played a major factor in this race as you look on down to the remainder of the finishing results. Tough break for Nick Pericles, 25th. Hannah Smith. Could have been worse for her. Could have pitted early, could have been several laps down. Never had a chance to recover, but could have been worse for her. 20th was better than finishing let's say 42nd. So Hannah Smith is well, it could have been worse for her, but if you're going to have that tire going down and ride it out till the pit stops, that was a smart move on her part, if you ask me. Lena Ritchie didn't have a good run. Sam Vickers, who announced this week, before this weekend, he will be leaving that ride at the end of the season. He ended up 31st. Bora Park, 32nd, 3rd in the standings. Ashlyn Wright, 34th. That is not what Ashlyn Wright needed in that 0-2 machine. 21st in the points. The good news for her, a couple of drivers will be falling out of the top 30, so it's not going to really hurt her in a big deal. I think the big one's going to lose a lot of points tonight is Gretchen Muller, because Cunningham finished 28 spots. Dylan Cunningham, that is. So Dylan Cunningham's going to eat into the points gap that Gretchen Muller had, which was 40 points coming into the night's race. She finished in 35th. Get her off. This is not a good run for him, but remember, we don't know what's going to happen as far as that cut line of who's going to stay in the top 30 and who is not. It's a break for Rogel Dorn, Amanda Scoutmaster, but glad that those two made the show. Shyla Askraov, Tatiana Naguera, Luis Hernandez. Those three are definitely going to be in big trouble with the stewards, which, by the way, they are off to see the stewards right now on why the hell they did not just move out of the way and let Abigail Furling win this race. And I bet you this lady right here is going to have some explaining to do to co-owner Luke Knight, because remember, you just allowed your teammate Erica Douglas, not trying to say I'm pointing sides on Erica Douglas here, but I really don't want to be in that DVR World NOS Racing camp after this race is over. 40 drivers finished the race on the lead lap. 41 of the 42 starters finished the race. The only driver that did not reach the conclusion, poor Jacob Foster, mechanical problems after he originally failed to qualify, but the 33 team needed a driver. They asked Jacob to come in and fill in for this race, and fortunately, Jacob Foster will end up finishing in the 42nd position. But it will count for him as a start, though. But who will be in that 33 going forward, I really don't know. And same with the 46. Sylvia came on 24th. Well, she did the most she can in that situation, if you ask me, as far as that is concerned. But I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's race. If you did, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the World Racing Association crew today. Be sure your full finisher results. Your point standings took a major shaking up as a result of these results here tonight. And we'll see these Truck Series drivers in 2 weeks at the Kentucky Speedway. Our Charlotte weekend continues tomorrow night at 5. We'll have Winston Cup qualifying, Busch race at 7, and then the Cup race Sunday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And now for our studio engineer, that is Caleb Hobbs. I'm D DeVos. Thank you for joining me and saying good night from Charlotte Motor Speedway. We congratulate Erica Douglas on her first Craftsman Truck Series win in her 10th start of her career. Coming up next, we'll rejoin the Infinity Network Sports Studios programming already in progress. I will talk to you again tomorrow night, everybody. You've been watching the World Racing Association's Multimedia Network.